Hey there, welcome back, Maris here, and today we have again, yes, I know, ARK Survival Ascended. So, I managed to squeeze out this, and this is not even the maximum. I'm gonna show you, so stick with me. Video will be in two big parts. First, I will explain how to get these crazy numbers, because that's the main thing. But at the end, I have also a comparison. I will show every single version how it looks like, because it's always a trade-off of something. So that video I made, yes, I made myself that video obsolete right now. So 90 frames per second, nobody cares. And that arrow, that's not even a clickbait again. You see, that frames per second currently is from the screen in the background with clouds. So no, you do not need to kill the clouds to get these frames per second. So how to? Let's jump. Remember, in the description, everything will be written, the codes, the links, everything. And also I will, of course, make the timestamp so you can jump on that comparison as you requested, if you want to. And let's jump right to the point. Oh, right, not even jumping it again. So first I will explain what we gonna look at today, and this is all these possible versions of how the visuals look like. See that in the comparison part, but before that I need to explain why and what's the difference. So there are two layers of added boost. One is, I call it boosted, and then boosted max. So what is that? This is the part where I explain where to do what, so you can do the same for in your game. Doesn't matter what kind of GPU you have. Trust me, you're good with this. So if you go and find where you have installed your game, whatever disk or wherever folder you have it, there is ARK Survival Ascended game. So there is inside another folder called shooter game, then in saved, then in config, then in Windows, you will have absolutely a lot of ini files. My advice, sort by the size, because most of them are empty. The two files you are looking for is game user settings, ini, the same I actually mentioned in previous video, and another one this time, additional part, this is the trickery where it happens, is Engine.ini. So when I'm talking and I'm gonna show you these boosted things, boosted versions, this is where I'm talking about. This is the game user settings file. If you open up, when you have the game, you have that file because it basically saves all the settings. These settings at the top, scalability options, they are the same that you can find inside the game. For example, in the game, if you change the shadow quality, this number goes up. If you remove or increase anti-aliasing, this changes. So it's nothing particularly interesting here. And even further, if you see, there's another set of rules, graphics qualities, the overall quality, you see the bloom is also here. So a lot of these are the same as you can change inside the game. That's not the interesting part. The interesting part is the list is really huge, and if you go through it like I did, I picked out more settings, and I'm gonna show you what we are talking about. Advanced graphics quality. That's a setting you cannot find or change or impact inside the game. This is only in this ini file. The same is true sky quality that I absolutely killed. Ground clutter density, somehow it does not work, but there is a chance that you can change these numbers. Some of them kind of work, some of them not. VSync. Did you know there is a VSync that you can enable, disable? Because in the settings there is not. So when we are talking about boosted, there are a bunch of these files up to, disable menu transition. This is the interesting part, which is not there, which I basically tuned down. Disabled some of the things, I tested how it looks like. Anyways, this you can do as well. You can custom do additional things to in-game setting, right? This is the boosted part. Now, when we are talking, when you will see the images with boosted max, I will also link the Google Drive with all the images so you can check for yourself. You can inspect shit out of them if you want to. Other part is maxed out, this is the magic. This is the magic, the same location when you find the ini file. I would advise for you, copy the same you have somewhere else, then you can tweak whatever you do. If you don't like, you can just copy over the previous and that's it. When you open it up at the start, you will not have this part at the top. This is additional. So you will have these things, the core, whatever they mean, they basically show the path where to find things. But once you add system settings and then add these, there are even more lines, but this is enough. And even I will show you. Material quality level. You can choose between 3 and 1, 3 and 0. You can test it through the console as well, but basically 0 is the way to go. Then you can disable water reflection, which I did not do. This does not impact frames per second whatsoever. So this is just a setting for you, so you can toggle around. Contact shadows, you can disable. It's pretty ugly, so we are not going for that. But cascades, tell me what you want, but how the shadows are implemented. Anything 1, 2, 3, you go above. I don't like it because that's the jittery shadow. If you disable it, which I'm advising to do, you will have stationary those shadows. They will not move, but they look way better, even better, and it costs less for your GPU to render them. And then there's r.Nanite.MaxPixelsPerEdge. The suggestion was to go with value 4. I tested out, no difference before between 4, 3, 2. When you switch from 2 to 1, you notice you notice a difference, you notice a graphical change. So I went with lowest possible where there is no impact on visuals whatsoever. I ended up with 2. You can go with 3, 4, how you feel. None of that is, it's important, but crown of this video goes right here. I'm gonna zoom in because let me explain why this video is general applied for everyone. Because I have a theory. Both of these lines correspond to the technology called Lumen. So one is Lumen.Reflections. Allowed? No. So basically we disallow lumen reflections. So it's advanced lighting thing. And then there is r.Dynamic.Global.Illumination.Method. Don't be confused. We have such similar setting in this file that also is in the settings. Global illumination quality. Quality and method are not the same. So here you can go with whatever you want. But here, this is basically another way to say use lumen. If you disable it, lumen is not allowed. And my theory is, I had a comment where someone with AMD card said, I run with Ultra and I have pretty decent frames per second. My gut feeling is either AMD graphics card do not fully support, don't have drivers for lightest whatever this lumen is used, and it is disabled for AMD cards by default. So you don't have this problem even here. And this is a problem because this eats up everything. This is even faulty and everyone else thinks that clouds are the problem in the game. No, Lumen is the problem in this game. So when that is explained, adding those lines in your file will make game before it loads, so you don't need to toggle any console, anything, just paste it, forget about it, just play the game, because the important part is to play the game, have fun. So these settings, I am running with them, I'm giving to you, use them wisely. This is the max and this is the king, this where everything changes. And don't think you will have exactly the same visual fidelity. This Lumen makes everything look beautiful at cost way too dear. So now this is the second part of the video where I'm jumping to my awesome folder, because I cannot record the game and show you actual frame rates, because my video is also recorded on the same GPU and I use in the background AI and video noise cancellation. Basically my GPU is at the moment loaded as hell, so it can't handle the game. But order is simple. We will run, I'll show you, low settings, medium settings, high settings, and epic settings. All default game settings. I basically reinstalled the game and cleared all the settings, so I have exactly the same for what everyone will have. Only thing I changed is updated to my native resolution, right? Then we have from low, boosted version and maxed version, and then the same for everything. And last three, oh, that's the crown jewel of this video. Yeah, you can skip it with timestamps as well. And let's introduce the first part. I will run quickly, so there's no, you can pause the video and I will not put one to another because the screen will shrink down. It's you really want, you can do it. You can have access, and you have access in the description for all these images. Download them, shuffle them around. So low setting, everything on low, and we have 78 frames per second in the corner. This is it, 78. If I boost it, then nothing visually changes as much. I have 3 frames per second on my increased, not by much. Now, next part is, yes, it changes, and we have maxed out. So we have all the balanced, and basically this is when the lumen is killed. I will switch between them, with lumen, without lumen, with lumen, without lumen. So you see it's not as bright. You can probably change it with gamma and other settings, but pay attention, we have 132 frames per second here from 78. This is the default what game gives. Then with both of those tunes applied, you can have 132. Do you see? We have clouds. This is not even the number I used in the thumbnail because this is the lowest settings. I'm not advising to go with this. Why? Because if you look here, there is really short range, the distance range, and the foliage quality, and in the background you see there's no shadows. There are downside. If you have really budget GPU, run with these settings. This is low, and apply both of my given filters. That's it. And if with everything what I showed so far applied, you still don't have decent frames per second, then your GPU is too old. My gut feeling is most of you will run it fine with 60-ish frames per second. This is my gut feeling. You tell me in the description. Please apply both of them and tell me what card you have and what frame per second you have with this part. So moving on to long time span. So now this is the kicker. This is medium settings, and this is currently the background. No boost, nothing. This is the original OG game settings. It runs 49, by the way, yeah, this is done on 3080 10GB card. It's quite, not the top end, but quite high end card. And it runs 49 frames per second. This is the reason why everyone dumps the game and says, no, it's shit. It's not true. Small boost applied, we have 48. Lumen disabled, we have 69. Yes, I know, nice. You see, we have still all the clouds, we have more clutter on the ground, we have in the background foggy. It is already pretty decent. And honestly speaking, this will be really close to what I'm suggesting to run if you have a GPU that can cover this. So this is one of their settings, but let's go further. Once you select high, this is high, default high, 36 frames per second. This is the part where everyone thinks, what the hell is going on with the game? It's not optimized yet. The game pushes too far. It does not need to go that far. My boost applied, not even a dent in the frames per second. But once you kill the lumen, yes, it's still not 60 frames per second. Yes, I know, only 49. But you can have with 36 and then fully maxed boost applied 49. Pretty decent, I would say. And see, this is already full clutter with everything on the shore, it's basically already high. It's high. It's all the high. And if I believe correctly, the high, there was some of the settings already epic. I'm using the preset what game gives. All of these are the same. I'm not custom changing anything else, just applying those ini files. And lastly, this is epic. This is in the background is the best game can push out at all. It's maxed out everything. You see, it's pretty cool image, but you know what? 28 frames per second. It's even below 30. Applying the boost 1 frame per second, it's too little difference to actually notice. It's always a little bit changing. And when we kill Lumen, we can have up to 40 frames per second. Just a reminder, there are on some games on the consoles are limited on 30. You can push out epic with 40. Well, of course, if you have this exact same card as I have and all the rig, but I'm just saying, you can pull this game together, have decent looking, good looking, and good frames per second. So now is the good part. What if I told you what you are looking right now, 100 frames per second on my GPU? So this, what you see, this is what I am suggesting you to have. This is, we have custom built settings. This is I'm using from the previous video, but where actually I felt like I have something. This is it. I didn't at that moment discover that Lumen can be killed in this, and Lumen is the problem. So all those settings applied, that's one thing. Boost applied, second thing. Lumen killed, that also is there. And last but not least is in this section, one of you absolutely gorgeous viewers mentioned that you need to have medium this illumination, that the illumination quality must be 1, then you can see the beams from your drops, which I didn't know because at that point I was not even progressing the game. I was at the starting point just doing the research and the graphic settings. So now this is all included, and you see that 100. Original medium with everything killed was 69. Remember this? 69. Yes, it looks a little bit worse if you apply my settings on top of this, but you know what? It's 100 frames per second. Do you think this is it? This is it, what I can offer? Oh boy, you don't know me yet. So, how on earth then we have this? This is on a thumbnail. 107 frames per second. What changed is in a corner appeared the numbers. I didn't remove them. This is the point where this is my system basically recognizes the game this application is using DLSS. So if you are thinking, if all the previous settings you saw, everything you saw was without DLSS even enabled, yes, you damn right, it was not even enabled. Why, you ask, why I pulled this trickery? Because huge part of us gamers have AMD card. It would be unfair to always say, now enable DLSS. I know I did it. Enable DLSS. They can't. They don't have DLSS. The fidelity, dynamic resolution AMD is not implemented in the game. So this is so far what you saw was for every single card out there. DLSS is enabled only here. The fun fact, I could squeeze out 7 extra frames per second only with all the damn clouds there. And you know what? If you pay really close attention, here it's really bright. Here is the beam. Here is the beam. So all that illumination quality, you have the beam, you have the clouds, you have killed Lumen, you have 107 frames per second. Depends on the GPU again. But these settings in the background, the clutter is average. It's not. I'm not pushing high or max. I think it's not ultra. It's high. I think it's high. So yeah, this is the absolute pinnacle of what you can get out of this game. and you see it looks gorgeous. If you're thinking, wait, Maris, this is it? Hell no. You can still, if you wish, kill the clouds. In the background, it's really hard to see because, yeah, the numbers are green and sky is blue. It says 119 for me, for my car. But imagine what you can get applying exact same settings, whatever GPU you have. Okay, you have older GPU, it will be less, okay, but remember to go down to playable state, stable frames per second. By the way, it's stable as fuck because that Lumen is absolutely killing everything. You have 60 frames per second to move around with older or different GPUs. My gut feeling is with these settings, it's not that pretty. Yes, I acknowledge that this is absolutely gorgeous. Yes, this is epic. And I'm saying run with this or this. Yeah, apply the filters what you want, because at the end, if you're saying this game or this view is bad looking game, I'd say no, you haven't seen worse. The graphics is fine and you can pull out some mystery magic and have those frames per second. Now I have everything. Now I have delivered everything. Kill the Lumen, leave the clouds alone. They are not guilty. Yeah, you get the idea. If the Lumen is killed, the clouds, and by the way, once you enable, pay attention, one small detail. Here, when you enable DLSS, the clouds get this jittery thing. I actually am thinking here the clouds are puffy and fine. So basically DLSS can't handle the clouds properly. And if you ask me, absolutely ugly jittery clouds with 7 frames per second, is it worth it? Not really. So weird things are happening there. DLSS not giving as much, Lumen killing everything, leave clouds alone, reflection. By the way, you notice the difference on the water? It's not reflection disabled. This white thing on top of the top layer of water is actually not reflection problem. It's the clouds being ported on the reflection. So if you just remove clouds, the white thing on the water also is gone. So there are a lot of weird things happening. I'm not defending the game is perfect. Hell no. But if you are a gamer and you want to play a game, not whine, not ignore the possibility to change settings or this video or anything else, then go ahead. I'm not your real mom, I'm not gonna tell you. But if you are a gamer that wants to play, wants frame rates and wants beautiful looking, you can fine tune and find the perfect balance. I hope I have delivered everything. If you have any question, any at all, because please don't make me make another video. This is it. It should cover everything. Now they will work on optimizing the game, hopefully. So it should be better every time, not worse, hopefully. So if we can go through this absolutely least optimized game and they slowly improve it, it should get only better. And when they introduce for AMD card users also the FXR, I always remember how it's called, DLSS alternative for AMD, then it also should help for frames and all that. And yeah, I don't have frame generation, if you're just wondering. No, I don't have the latest card, so I haven't even, if you have latest frame generation, on top of this 120, you can add extra, I don't know, 5, 10, 30 frames per second. Now I'm done. Let's play this game. I really want to. I have spent no more time in the settings and toggling the ini files than actually playing this. Please let me play with my dinos, please. Alright, guys, thank you for watching, and we'll meet in other videos, hopefully way better than for the perfect game we will playing all together. All right, cheers.